Today, the word hero gets thrown around quite a bit, but I think whether you're a Republican, Democrat, or Independent, you can all agree that this man is a national hero, Kris Paronto.
Growing up, would I rather be playing outside than be at church and Sunday school? Of course, I'm a kid. That's what I want to do. But was God and faith in my life from a young age? Yes. Of course, my parents made sure it was. So the basis was already there. And then growing up, of course, it got stronger. I was part of the Fellowship of Christian Athletes in high school because my father was a member. So, of course, I was a member. That was a big deal. But I don't think I ever took it seriously until the Army. And when I joined the Army, because, first of all, church is an escape when you're in basic training, because Sunday is where the drill sergeants can leave you alone. So you have a choice. Stay on base with the drill sergeants and get chewed out all day, or go to church. So you go to church, because that is where your tranquility is. But then you also, because you have really no outside distractions, you don't have that idiot box the TV. You don't have outward negative influences. It is a very positive environment being in the military. It allows you to have some clarity as far as what God really is. And if you have a base already and faith, and you've grown up with Christianity in your life, chaplains in the military, when they're giving their sermons, it's making sense. Whereas before it was, you're just here because I got to get it over with. I want to hear the sermon. But I started praying at night too when I was 16, and I pray every night. I've prayed every night from there on out. People think that Benghazi, when they look at it and they think, well, that must have been and granted, there's not many combat-related incidences aside from maybe Vietnam or Battle of the Bulge or things, and I am comparing it to that are in that magnitude of being completely overwhelmed, completely left on your own, completely. Now, there's never, not that I know of, and I'm sure some World War II vets and Vietnam vets can probably have stories, but where you are actually left behind on the battlefield and you have 6 guys and that's it. So that night in Benghazi, your faith had to be strong. And because of how I was raised, because of God coming into my life, and then God being there for 10 years, I had a wartime Bible I prayed to every night, and there was a prayer, and the morning when we do operations. It was actually a Catholic wartime Bible that was given to me by a Ranger buddy of mine. I would read verses of it every day, and I actually even had my own little New Testament, military New Testament, that was for 10 years, I'd read scriptures of it. I just open it up, and that was the scripture I was supposed to read for the day. And it usually was right. So how can I use faith, and how can I use it to get this stigma of being politically incorrect to show your faith, politically incorrect to wear your crucifix out? That's the first step, is just being out there and saying, hey, I'm God-fearing. I'm a God-fearing man. Look in this society with the left, and it is, with the left wing that doesn't like to propagate, because Christianity is now offensive to other cultures and other faiths. By me just being out there and saying, hey, I'm Christian, I am a sinner, I'm a wild, crazy guy, I've lived, can't burn the candle on both ends, but I still have faith in God. He still obviously protects me, and protected me that night. I knew, and you get the story here where I'll tell you where I actually felt God, and there are no atheists in foxholes in situ. There never is, and where I'll tell people about that. Just being out there and giving examples, personal examples, and being nothing against Joel Osteens of the world. Love those guys. We need those guys. But me getting out there and saying, you are a sinner, you're a terrible person, that's why I think it shuts the youngsters down. I don't do that. And Christians, we shouldn't condemn people. It's not our job to condemn any religion. We're supposed to accept people. Now, granted, we will fight if we are ever threatened, which all of us 6 Christians, us 2 Navy SEALs, 3 Marines, and 1 Ranger that night, we will tear it up if you come after us as Christians. But we never will condemn you. And I think that's where sometimes we lose the youngsters. And by me going out there and speaking on behalf of Christianity and being God-fearing, but also being, like I said, I'm not afraid to take my shirt off on a music video, which I did a couple weeks ago, relating to the pop culture, but saying you can still be a strong Christian, but you don't need to condemn everybody else to be one. God prepared me for that from when I first joined the military. I was prepared for that night. I was 42, older. I deployed for 10 years. I'd seen death for 10 years prior to that. I'd been through crisis situations. I'd been divorced once, which was miserable. I got kicked out of the Army one time. I went back in the Army and did everything over again. I was all medically discharged because I have severe Crohn's disease, and I was medically discharged, and he found me a path that way. So there's a lot of obstacles that went through 18 years. Well, at that point in time, would have been 15 years of my life that prepared me for that night. So when it came, it's like, oh, well, this is the path God has me on. I'm supposed to be here. Let's take care of business. If I die here, I die at peace with Him, and I'll go see Grandma. And that's how you that's how you have to think, and that's how you should think. The music video we filmed in Nashville, the country music here, Ryan Weaver he's a double gold star family. He's lost 2 brothers in the War on Terror. One was a Ranger, and Ryan, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm sorry. I don't know if the other guy was infantry, but Ryan was also a veteran. He was a helicopter pilot for the military, and the song itself is to show and honor. It's actually to honor Benghazi. It's honor to 13 hours. There'll be movie pieces of the movie clip in it as well. But it is going to be a little bit political as well, because it's going to show the failures of the State Department. And, political is a bad word. It's going to show the failures of the leadership within the State Department that put us in those situations. And what we need to do, again, it's another avenue for pop culture. It's going to show people, the youngsters, that with this video, it will hopefully push it out to those that still think Benghazi, and this really makes me angry, but there are those out there in the college system. Pierce College in Washington is one of them, and I'll call those guys out, where the professors say Benghazi is a hype. They teach their students that Benghazi is just a big Republican conspiracy theory. That upsets me. So doing this and showing and putting real faces with a story, and showing that there are scars, whether they're emotional, mental, or physical scars from that battle, hopefully that will reach the kids and say, hey, this is a real story about death and honor, death and destruction, but also honor and courage and sacrifice, which they saw with Lone Survivor and American Sniper and Black Hawk Down. But because this has been politicized, the left-wing media doesn't push it out as much but they should. And it's kind of terrible at the moment, but a lot of the millennials and a lot of the youngsters, that's the media they watch. So we have to find other ways to do it. And by Ryan being a veteran, his brother being a Ranger, me being a Ranger, and him being a completely honorable man and serving his country, to me it's a no-brainer. And I like country music, which, hey, just bottom line is that's again, it's a win-win-win for me and for everybody. You guys don't know fully what was going on at the annex, and because I'm not Hillary Clinton, I can't put that information out and not be subjugated to a prison sentence or a massive fine. But there are plenty of emails out there, and I know she destroyed a bunch of them. But all I tell is Assange and everybody else that's digging, keep digging. They're there.
Thank you for watching Hometowns and Heroes in Golfing Country. And if you would, give us a like and subscribe. And if you have any comments, we'd sure like to hear them. Thank you.